Hello everyone, we are Group D, and our artifact is a guide on some of the principles of animation. The 12 principles of animation are a set of guidelines that help you create effective and interesting animation. In this video, we will introduce you to 4 of the most fundamental principles: slow and slow out, squash and stretch, anticipation, follow through, and overlapping action. All of our animations were made in Unity. I'm Gary, this is slow in, slow out. Slow in and slow out is the animation principle that animation should have their motion start slowly and end slowly. A pendulum is a classic example of slow in, slow out. Here we see the ball starts slow on the left side of the swing, builds up speed in the middle, and slows down on the right. Slow in and slow out helps make motions more smooth and lifelike. I want you to focus on the red cube for a moment. The red cube is not following slow in, slow out. It's sliding at a constant speed. As you can see, the red cube suddenly stops at the finish line. A sudden stop isn't natural for most motions, and this makes the red cube seem robotic. Now focus on the green cube. The green cube starts slow, builds up a lot of speed, and then slows down before reaching the finish line. Now that's more natural.
Squish and squash is a fundamental principle that adds realism, weight, and flexibility to animated objects and characters. Squish and squash is the distortion of shape and volume. It mimics the behavior of real-world objects when they experience forces like impact, gravity, or acceleration. For instance, imagine a character jumping up and down on the ground. Upon impact, their body compresses, creating a squished form. Then as they spring back up, their body stretches and elongates, demonstrating the squish and squash effect. Animations that incorporate squish and squash not only look more dynamic and lifelike, but also convey a sense of weight and momentum. Here's a demonstration of what this concept looks like in animation.
In animation, we often see characters use an action to prepare for another following action. This starting action is called anticipation. It allows the viewer to anticipate what will happen next, and also makes actions look more realistic. One example of anticipation that you may see is a character winding their arm back before throwing a punch. Here, the character goes straight into a punch. Without anticipation, the viewer likely wouldn't expect the punch, and may miss what just happened. It also makes the punch look weak compared to if the character used anticipation and reached their arm back before punching. A punch with anticipation pulls the arm back to communicate to the viewers that the character will punch, and puts more energy into the punch itself. Here, the character hits a ball with a bat. It's not the most dynamic swing, but if we use anticipation here, it will look like the strike will have more power into it. It makes the action look more natural, and the animation overall more interesting to look at.
Overlapping action and follow-through. Overlapping action is the idea that objects loosely connected to a moving object will move at an offset to the main object, and follow-through is the related idea that connected objects will continue to move after the main object stops. This mimics real-world physics, making an animation feel more realistic. Let's start with this simple jump animation. The landing doesn't look very natural, does it? It feels like the movement cuts off suddenly. When you jump, your body keeps moving after you hit the ground and your knees bend. Let's try adding that. Wow, that already looks way better. Since the head is a different mass, its movement might also lag behind the body a bit. This isn't visible in real life, but we could try exaggerating it for a more dynamic animation. Since this exaggeration follows the logic of overlapping action, it still feels natural. Cool. Follow-throughs also change how a movement reads. The actual jump animation of these two characters is the same, but the follow-throughs are different. This makes the first character seem light and cartoonishly bouncy, while the second character seems to have a more realistic weight. In character animation, overlapping action and follow-through are especially applicable to clothing and hair. You can experiment with combining the 4 principles discussed here to make even more interesting animation. Thanks for watching!